I think it's time to stop whining now because things are done. It's 15 years of a fast downhill road that we have taken. But now I think the onus is on us to really wake up and raise a voice. And criticizing the government is one form of it. You can tell them, raise your voice, but we'll have to think even further ahead than that. And one of the things that I truly believe that industrialists can do is, I truly believe that the survival of Tamil Nadu is mainly going to be from small entrepreneurs. The big ones are there, we're proud of them, that's fine, but we must also build small entrepreneurs because $1 million companies still makes a $6 billion company, according to me. And I know, yeah, thank you. You can, feel free. But at the same time, we must have our big giants too. But we must take this forward and we will help that happen. That will increase employment. That's what we have to do. And the government, of course, will have to help. And we must insist that they do. What happened in the 15 years, that post-mortem is not the most important exercise now, because that's done. And now we have to think ahead. Post-mortem, everybody knows. The politicians are busy taking care of themselves and not the state. Now the time has come when we all have to pitch in, including the politicians. If they don't wisen up now, they never will. And it'll change. And for the integrity of the nation, unity of the nation, we must all get together. One vertical at a time. And this is one vertical I'm proud to address. Thank you. It can be done because there are precedents. The Honorable PM, while he was in Gujarat, was able to settle a dispute, very similar dispute between 4 states. 4 states, I think. 4 states. So, 4 or 3? 4 states. So it is not such an insurmountable problem if the politics will just stand aside and logic will come into place, logistics will come into place, then we can quickly solve the problem. But it seems like people are driving it, they are not. It can be solved, but it has to be left to the actual users. There was something called the Kaveri family. The farmers had a communion. They spoke to each other, and that begat better results than all this squabbling in the court. Because ultimately, Kaveri was there when we were monkeys. And it will still be there. We only hope that we don't pollute it, that you can't call it Kaveri anymore. That's happening. What we can do, as far as whatever the numbers, we'll have to fight for our rights. We will. We can't even bring about the logic of riparian rights because nobody seems to be hearing. But there is something that has to be done which they are not doing. That's because politics is meddling with it. Too many cooks is spoiling the river. But what we can do, the best we can do in a situation like this is to conserve water. The rainfall in Tamil Nadu is enviable, very enviable compared to other states. We have abundant rain and we have been draining it all away with disregard. Chennai itself is a great example of how 2 rivers have been turned to sewers. In my time, I have seen that it may not have been potable, but at least it was navigatable. I could dip my hand in it and come back without jaundice. But that's not the case now. It's a simple solution. an engineer would be able to give a simple solution to solve that problem. It's not been solved. In the last 40 years, promises have been made. We have two rivers. The very reason why the British chose this as a vantage point was because of these two rivers and the waterways. We've ruined it all. That's what we have to take care of. We have to take care of our water bodies and conserve and garner all the rainfall that we are getting. That's the best that we can think of at this moment. But the debate for riparian rights and water to come into Tamil Nadu will continue. It's now become boring for the onlookers because we know why it's going on. It's pure politics, and it should move away from it and come towards the people. Thank you, sir.
Will you be able to continue your political journey even if it is not able to capture the power, irrespective of success or failures in capturing the power? Are you sure about continuing your political journey?
Yes. I'll tell you why I came at all in the first place. To challenge the status quo, to do away with the stagnancy, and to tell people that yes, integrity and honesty has a place in that assembly. And that is why I'm here. That is my life's work. I've done my bit as an actor. This is the rest of my life. And that's what I'd like to tell you, sir.
Sir, this is final question, sir.
But you must understand, FICCI and the Central Fund is not the only problem that, they are not the only solvers of the problem.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
When you say the word fund in politics, the first reaction is how to reach it. Not for the people. For people who think that they can take it away for themselves. That has to stop. It seems very simple. It's like saying being honest. Yeah, it's a simple word, but it's a great exercise. We have to be all part of it. It's a very simple word. Honesty may not be the best policy, but it's a great luxury. Very few people can afford it. I want you all to be able to afford it. I have afforded it with great pain, but I'm enjoying the fruits of it. Thank you, sir.
Vanakkam, sir.
I think, as you said, if there is a national growth, Tamil Nadu will definitely want to be part of that too, which right now we are not sure we are. We'd like to be part of it. And I've told you, we are talking at, the present situation is what in the naval language is called the doldrums. So there's no wind to catch our sail, but it soon will happen, and that's what we are all working towards. And then we could discuss policies and the labor laws, but whatever laws that we bring about, once again, like when the Constitution was being done, they asked, the same old man keeps coming back into my conversation, but forgive me, I'm a fan. So they asked Gandhiji since he was also a barrister, whether he had any comments on the Constitution. He says the poorest man should benefit. If that happens in your Constitution, it's good. That's how he surmised it with a simple line, because the rest of the nuts and bolts, they were fantastic lawyers working on it. But this is something, the basic tenets of which we should take care. And when we reform the labor laws, this should be kept in mind again. And we must have big industries. When I say that, when I was trying to champion the small industries, it doesn't mean that we'll have to eschew the big ones. They must come. They must also be there, and these people should also continue their endeavor. And but all of them should work within their ethical limits and go by the law of the land and not exceed it in avarice to do better business. That goes for anywhere in the world, and we should follow that. And that's what will be our policy, to facilitate as much as possible to all businesses to grow and flourish, but it will all have to be done with concern for people, laws, and yes, if we have to readdress the labor laws, we will.
We have only one question.
For development, a strong single.
What is?
What is good for Tamil Nadu? A strong national party like BJP and Congress in the center, or a coalition of all regional parties forming a central government? Which will be better, in your opinion, for the development of state?
I think we must have the federal outlook. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I have some supporters here for that. We must, and the diversity of the nation demands that, and we must have that, and that will be the best policy to pursue. Whatever happens in the center, whether it's coalition or it's a large government, we should never let go of the regional rights, and we should have that, not wait for concurrence on every little step that we are taking forward. That's our view. That's Makkal Needhi Mayyam's view on it.
We too traveled some years back in a warship. I hope you remember that. My question, I will come to that. If you become a power source, I'm not saying a chief minister, I hope you understand. If you become a power source, what you will do first for education institutes, for industry, and for public?
As we have been discussing, education will have to create graduates who are employable, which means the quality will have to come up. Industry, I'm going to talk to all you people and come out with a policy. That's as simple as that. And whatever happens, as you say, whether it's power or not, we will continue to talk for the betterment of Tamil Nadu. That will continue. So, thank you very much. And yeah, I think
Can I ask one question?
So no further questions. So it's my pleasure to propose a vote of